Imagine stepping into your garden and finding vines heavy with ripe, sun-warmed tomatoes. More than 100 pounds of fruit, all from just 5 plants. It might sound like a gardener's dream, but it's absolutely possible when you understand what tomatoes truly need to thrive. Tomatoes are the stars of every summer garden, colorful, flavorful, and bursting with nutrition. Yet many home growers end up with small, uneven harvests because they focus on the fruit above ground, not the life happening beneath it. The secret to huge yields isn't luck. It's about building strong roots, feeding them wisely, and creating balance between growth and fruiting. In this video, you'll discover proven methods used by experienced growers across the United States, from the dry heat of Arizona to the cool lakeside climates of Michigan. You'll learn how to prepare rich soil, choose high-yield varieties, feed your plants organically, and use smart watering and pruning techniques that make every vine explode with fruit. Whether you have a backyard, balcony, or just a few containers, these principles work everywhere. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to turn 5 ordinary tomato plants into a record-breaking harvest, and maybe even inspire your neighbors to start their own tomato adventure. To grow a massive tomato harvest, you first need to understand how tomatoes live, breathe, and grow. Tomatoes are sun-hungry plants. They thrive in full sunlight for at least 6 to 8 hours a day. Every ray of light fuels photosynthesis, the natural engine that turns energy into fruit. Without enough light, the plant stretches tall and thin, searching for the sun instead of building strong branches and flowers. So, before planting, find your brightest spot. In the northern states, face your garden south to capture more daylight. In the southern regions, provide a bit of afternoon shade to protect from scorching heat. Next comes temperature. Tomatoes love warmth. Their roots develop best in soil temperatures between 70 and 85 degrees Fahrenheit. Below 55, growth nearly stops. Above 95, blossoms may fail to set. In cooler climates, you can use black mulch or raised beds to warm the soil earlier in spring. In hot climates, add light-colored mulch to reflect excess heat. Now let's talk about the heart of the plant, its roots. A tomato's strength lies below the surface. Unlike many crops, tomatoes can develop roots all along their buried stem. That means the deeper you plant them, the stronger and more resilient they become. When transplanting, bury 2/3 of the stem underground, removing the lower leaves. New roots will grow along that buried section, creating a powerful network that absorbs nutrients and water efficiently. The next choice that shapes your harvest is variety. Tomatoes come in 2 main growth types, determinate and indeterminate. Determinate plants grow to a certain height, produce fruit all at once, and stop. Perfect for canning or small spaces. But if your goal is continuous, heavy harvests, choose indeterminate varieties like Big Boy, Cherokee Purple, or Better Boy. These vines keep growing and fruiting until frost, giving you months of production. Soil texture is another cornerstone. Tomatoes prefer loose, fertile, well-draining soil. Heavy clay suffocates roots. Pure sand dries too quickly. The ideal texture feels rich and crumbly, full of organic matter that holds moisture yet drains easily. If your soil feels sticky or compacted, amend it with compost, peat, or coconut coir to improve aeration. Finally, remember, tomatoes are living systems that respond to rhythm and balance. Light, heat, Air and water must work together. When any one of these elements goes out of sync, too little sun, too much moisture, not enough nutrients, the plant struggles. But when harmony is achieved, growth becomes unstoppable. Understanding these basics is like learning the language of your plants.
Once you can read their signals, drooping leaves, pale color, slow growth, you can respond before problems appear. Every strong tomato vine begins with awareness and care at this stage. So, before we move to soil building and feeding, take time to observe your garden. Where does the morning sun hit first? How quickly does the soil dry after rain? These small observations are what separate average growers from master gardeners, and they're the first step toward that 100-pound harvest. The foundation of every great tomato harvest begins long before the first seedling touches the soil. It starts underground, in the living ecosystem of your garden's earth. Healthy soil is not just dirt. It's a dynamic, breathing world filled with microbes, fungi, and organic matter. These invisible partners work together to feed your tomato plants from the roots up. To create perfect soil, aim for a blend that balances fertility, aeration, and moisture retention. The golden formula is simple: 1/3 rich compost, 1/3 quality garden soil, and 1/3 aerating material such as perlite, vermiculite, or shredded leaves. This mix ensures that air, water, and nutrients move freely through the root zone. Compost is your soil's best friend. It provides a steady release of nutrients while improving texture and water-holding capacity. If possible, use homemade compost. It's alive with beneficial organisms. A handful of worm castings adds an extra kick of nitrogen and trace minerals, while bone meal or crushed eggshells deliver slow-release calcium and phosphorus for strong cell walls and abundant blooms. Before planting, dig a deep hole, at least 12 inches, and layer in a small handful of organic fertilizer or compost at the bottom. Cover it lightly with soil before setting your transplant. This prevents root burn while providing long-term nourishment as the roots grow downward. Once your tomatoes are in the ground, the next key is consistent feeding. These plants are heavy feeders. They draw nutrients rapidly during their growth and fruiting phases. Every 2 to 3 weeks, apply a compost tea, fish emulsion, or seaweed extract around the base. Compost tea, made by steeping mature compost in water for a day or two, feeds plants while also strengthening their immune systems against disease. Seaweed, on the other hand, delivers essential micronutrients and natural growth hormones that boost flowering and fruit set. If you're growing organically, think of your feeding routine as a dialogue with the plant. Watch the leaves. Pale green suggests nitrogen hunger. Purple tones mean phosphorus is lacking. Instead of dumping random fertilizers, adjust your organic feedings based on what the plant tells you. A living soil can self-regulate when you listen and respond thoughtfully. Mulching is another secret weapon. A 2-inch layer of straw, shredded leaves, or composted bark locks in moisture, stabilizes soil temperature, and prevents weeds from stealing nutrients. Over time, that mulch breaks down into more organic matter, enriching the soil even further. Remember, your tomatoes don't just grow in soil, they grow from it. Treat your ground like a living partner, not a passive medium. When you build soil that teems with life, your plants reward you with vigor, resilience, and incredible yields. In a world where many gardeners rely on synthetic quick fixes, returning to the basics of organic feeding is both timeless and powerful. You're not just growing food, you're cultivating an ecosystem that can nourish generations of plants to come. The richer and more alive your soil becomes,
the less you'll have to worry about pests, droughts, or nutrient problems. Healthy soil is self-healing, self-feeding, and endlessly generous. That's the secret foundation behind those legendary 100-pound harvests. Water is life, but for tomatoes, it's an art.
Overwatering or underwatering can dramatically affect your yield, so timing, technique, and consistency are key. The golden rule is deep, infrequent watering. Instead of shallow daily sprinklings, aim to give each plant 1 to 1.5 inches of water per week, soaked slowly into the root zone. Deep watering encourages roots to grow downward, making plants more drought-resilient and productive. The method matters too. Avoid overhead sprinklers that drench leaves. Wet foliage is a breeding ground for fungal diseases like early blight. Instead, use drip irrigation or soaker hoses, delivering water directly to the base. This ensures roots get what they need while keeping leaves dry and healthy. Early morning is the ideal time. The soil absorbs moisture before the heat of the day, and leaves dry quickly, reducing disease risk. Water alone won't create a massive harvest. Pruning is equally critical. Tomatoes produce side shoots called suckers in the junction between the main stem and branches. While it's tempting to leave them, they divert energy away from fruit production. Removing these suckers and trimming lower leaves improves airflow, reduces disease, and directs the plant's energy toward flowering and fruiting. Focus on shaping the plant like a vase, tall, open, and airy, so sunlight reaches every cluster of fruit. But pruned plants need support. Strong stakes, cages, or trellises are essential for indeterminate varieties, which can grow 10 feet or more. Untied vines can sprawl on the ground, risking rot, pest damage, and broken branches under the weight of fruit. Install supports early, when plants are small, so vines naturally climb and avoid stress later. Tie stems loosely with soft twine or cloth strips. Never tight, as this can girdle the plant. Mulching complements watering and pruning. A 2-inch layer of straw or shredded leaves around the base keeps soil moist, reduces weeds, and stabilizes temperature. This allows roots to stay consistently hydrated without overwatering. Mulch also encourages beneficial soil organisms, further strengthening your plant's natural defenses. Pay attention to the plant's signals. Wilted leaves in mid-afternoon may be normal, but persistent drooping often means root stress or uneven watering. Yellowing lower leaves may indicate nutrient imbalances or waterlogged roots. By observing your plants daily, you can adjust watering, prune selectively, and reinforce support structures before small problems become yield-limiting disasters. Combining smart watering, strategic pruning, and robust support systems transforms ordinary tomato plants into high-producing giants. Each step, from deep hydration to removing excess suckers and providing sturdy cages, multiplies the plant's efficiency. Every leaf captures sunlight, every root absorbs nutrients, and every vine stays strong under the weight of hundreds of ripening tomatoes. Master these techniques, and you'll see a visible difference. Stronger stems, healthier leaves, and clusters of fruit growing faster and larger than you ever imagined. This stage bridges care and productivity, setting the stage for the big yields we're aiming for, the kind that makes 5 plants capable of producing 100 pounds of tomatoes or more. Once your tomatoes are rooted, pruned, and supported, it's time to supercharge growth using modern, science-backed techniques. Combining traditional care with targeted nutrient management and clever technology can multiply your harvest without adding extra work. One of the most effective methods is fertilization at the flowering and fruiting stages. while organic feeding builds long-term soil health. A liquid NPK fertilizer, carefully balanced with higher phosphorus for flower and fruit development, can dramatically improve fruit set and size. Apply it at the base or as a foliar feed, following manufacturer instructions, to give your plants a controlled nutrient boost exactly when they need it most. Epsom salt is another simple, inexpensive trick that produces noticeable results. Dissolve a tablespoon in a gallon of water and spray the solution on leaves every few weeks. Magnesium strengthens chlorophyll production, improving photosynthesis, which translates directly into bigger, healthier tomatoes. This is especially valuable in soils that are naturally low in magnesium. Mulching remains essential even at this stage. A thick 2-inch layer of straw, bark, or shredded leaves keeps soil temperatures stable, reduces water evaporation, and suppresses weeds. Over time, the mulch decomposes into additional organic matter, further nourishing your plants. Combining mulching with drip irrigation creates a microclimate at the root zone that maximizes efficiency. Water goes exactly where it's needed, and nutrients stay in the soil rather than washing away. Modern gardeners also benefit from season extension techniques. Simple plastic tunnels, row covers, or small backyard greenhouses protect your tomatoes from late frosts, early heat spikes, and unpredictable rainfall. Even in cooler climates, a greenhouse can raise soil and air temperatures enough to continue fruit production for weeks or months longer, dramatically increasing total yield. Another advanced approach is plant spacing and canopy management. Indeterminate tomatoes thrive when each plant has sufficient airflow and light exposure. Space plants at least 18 to 24 inches apart in rows, and remove overlapping leaves to ensure sunlight penetrates the entire canopy. Sunlight hitting every fruit cluster increases sugar content, flavor, and overall size. Finally, embrace observation and adaptation. Modern techniques don't replace intuition, they amplify it. Monitor soil moisture, nutrient uptake, and pest activity. Adjust drip lines. Tweak fertilization schedules, or rotate row covers as conditions change. The combination of traditional organic care and these targeted modern strategies creates a synergy that can turn 5 plants into a record-breaking 100-pound tomato harvest. When applied consistently, these techniques transform your garden from a simple backyard plot into a precision-growing environment. Every droplet of water, every micronutrient, every carefully pruned branch contributes to more fruit per plant, higher quality, and a more rewarding gardening experience. By bridging old wisdom with modern science, you're giving your tomatoes every advantage nature allows, and setting the stage for the final flourish. Harvest. Even experienced gardeners stumble when growing tomatoes, and small mistakes can drastically reduce yields. Understanding these pitfalls and knowing how to avoid them is essential if you want those 5 plants to produce 100 pounds of fruit. Mistake number 1: overwatering. While deep watering is critical, too much water suffocates roots and invites fungal diseases. Watch for yellow, drooping leaves or soggy soil. The solution: water deeply but infrequently, ideally using drip irrigation or soaker hoses to target roots and keep foliage dry. Mistake number 2: too much nitrogen. Fertilizer fuels leafy growth, but excess nitrogen produces lush green stems at the expense of flowers and fruit. Feed plants with a balanced formula, higher in phosphorus during flowering, and supplement with organic compost or liquid fertilizers as needed. Mistake number 3:
Ignoring sunlight. Tomatoes need at least 6 hours of direct sun daily. Inadequate light slows growth, reduces flowering, and encourages leggy plants. If sunlight shifts during the season, consider moving containers, trimming shade-casting branches, or installing reflective surfaces to maximize exposure. Mistake number 4. Improper pruning or support. Overcrowded, tangled vines prevent airflow, increase disease risk, and reduce fruit size. Prune selectively, removing lower leaves and side shoots, and provide sturdy stakes, cages, or trellises to keep vines upright and sunlight reaching every cluster. Mistake number 5. Irregular feeding. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, and inconsistent nutrition can stunt growth or cause blossom end rot. Maintain a regular schedule of compost teas, organic fertilizers, or targeted mineral supplements while monitoring leaf color and soil moisture. By observing plants daily, adjusting care based on their signals, and avoiding these common errors, gardeners can dramatically increase yield and fruit quality. Mistakes are natural, but learning to respond proactively is what separates a good harvest from a legendary one. Every healthy tomato starts with attentive, informed care. The moment every gardener dreams of has arrived: harvest day. After months of nurturing, watering, pruning, and feeding, your tomato plants are heavy with ripe, sun-kissed fruit. Each cluster glistens with vibrant reds, yellows, and purples, a testament to care and patience. Harvesting is both an art and a science. Pick tomatoes when they are firm, fully colored, and slightly fragrant. Use clean scissors or pruners to avoid damaging stems, and handle each fruit gently. Indeterminate varieties will continue producing for weeks, so regular harvesting encourages new blooms and maximizes yield. When weighed, 5 well-cared-for plants can reach the ambitious goal: 100 pounds of tomatoes or more. It's not just the numbers. It's the flavor, size, and consistency. Homegrown tomatoes have depth, sweetness, and texture that supermarket varieties rarely match. But beyond the bounty, there's a deeper reward. Gardening teaches patience, observation, and a connection to nature that few experiences can match. Every healthy leaf, every rooted stem, every cluster of fruit is proof of effort, attention, and the harmony you've created in your garden. Remember, the key to success is consistency. Sunlight, water, nutrition, pruning, and support, applied with care, compound over time. What might seem like small daily tasks culminates in extraordinary results. So take pride in your harvest. Slice, share, and savor it, knowing that 5 plants can feed your family, delight friends, and inspire anyone who witnesses your garden. And most importantly, remember this: the garden rewards those who observe, adapt, and care. With the right knowledge and dedication, your tomato dreams aren't just possible, they're inevitable. Now, grab those gloves, celebrate your success, and start planning next season. The journey from seed to harvest is one of growth, patience, and joy, and the fruits of your labor will keep inspiring for years to come.